Hello and welcome to episode 57 of Rigor Mortis Paranormal. Tonight's episode includes Drummer of the Burial Grounds, who was in my room last night, a security guard chases a ghost, a sobering thoughts segment, and more drunken tales from the RMP team. I am David, this is Robert, Jasmine, Kory, and Ian.
Hello!
Hey.
Hello. I'm sorry, we're making noise because there's candy involved, man.
Yummy. I feel like these are just like the leftovers from Halloween that nobody wanted, you know?
It's not Sour Patch.
Yeah, they're on the bottom.
Yeah, those aren't Sour Patch, those are the old grandma candies.
In my hand.
Yeah, you're strong, guys.
I know.
Well, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
We only have 57 episodes?
57, I know. Hey, man.
I thought we say that every episode.
I like the number 57. That's my old truck, and I got a 57 pickup.
Ooh, where is that, dude? I want to see that thing.
It's still sitting in a yard, somebody's yard. So
Let's just throw a random engine in it, man.
I know. That's what I said. Honestly, I've told everybody. Everybody.
A Yugo?
No, I'll put a Yugo engine in there. That's what makes it run.
Oh, what is it? Kind of 350, 800? No, it's front wheel drive. Yugo 88.
It's like, I bored out the pistons and trying to make it go a little faster.
Board off the piston.
One piston. No, I'm telling you, man. It's like I don't know how many times I've taken it to different people, man. Because people are like, "Oh yeah, I can do this, and I'll get it running." Man, I'll drop it off there a year later. I'm like, take your time. Go for it. A year later, and then still nothing. Like next thing you know, I take it to somebody else that says, "Yeah, I can do this and that." And same thing. Anyway, it's been
somehow you got
10
back a 98
Yeah.
pickup somehow.
Yeah, I don't. Wouldn't doubt. Well, no, actually, I've gotten. Every time I get it back, there's less of it. Some guy sold one. He sold my tailgate, and I'm like, what the hell?
Really?
Yeah, he did. This dude sold the tailgate of my truck. He disappeared too, though. I bought an engine from him. I bought a transmission from him, and then I almost bought a carburetor, a nice Holly carburetor, 4-barrel, big sucker.
Shit.
And the guy, it wasn't his land. It was somebody else's land. But the old man called me. And he's like, you may want to come pick up your truck. The guy moved out, and I can't find him anymore. Go over there, the engine's gone, the transmission's gone.
Sorry-ass
and then the
shit.
tailgate was missing from my truck. I'm like, dude, really? And I paid him for all that stuff too already. The engine
Fucking
and the
bastard.
like, if I ever find that guy,
I'm gonna shake my fist at him. Son of a bitch.
Really
I'm
fast.
gonna go listen to Rigor Mortis Paranormal podcast.
Yeah, we'll really make him suffer. Oh man, that shit was good, Jazz.
What?
No, that's okay. I made a lot of noise, and then my teeth were sticking to them. But I love Twizzlers, but man, I'm getting old, man.
I know, instead of popping bottles, we're just like...
Man, I know.
He needs some butterscotch and some...
No, but I mean, like we were talking about, David was
Oh, those candies, the old grandma candy. Oh, that we used to have every time we went to grandma's house, man. Like, oh.
and that was like in the 70s. I don't. What was it?
Grandma candies? I don't know.
they're like belts or something, or...
I was trying to look for them on the internet, and it just the first thing I found: 50 things you saw every time you visited grandma. And had those candies, those hard candies. They didn't come in wrappers back in those days because I guess germs weren't a thing back then.
They were in a canister though, but I mean everybody put their Grimies all over it.
Yeah, there were no wrapper, and they all stuck. Remember
Yeah,
thing
you grab one, it's just like half, or the whole thing comes up. Yeah, that's why Grandma probably had that little hammer there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It's like a little pig. And like I thought that was.
I thought it was for the pecans, but no, that was for those candies because they didn't have pecans in their yard.
Why old people have like the hardest candies?
Right?
They could have soft, like,
That's what we're saying.
They suck on it.
Why the fuck? I never understood that either. Now to this day, I mean, even back then, I was like, because they were gross. But we ate them because we were hungry, man. Candy was just they were like ribbon candies. I don't know what they're called, but man, they were the ugliest, man. You remember the green one? There was a green one. I think they said it's like Christmas candy, but I used to love those. I don't know why. They were easier to pull off.
There's some on this picture here. I don't know if you see them.
All the candies y'all talking about are right there.
They're all pretty much right there. They're like my grandma used to. I don't know if she bought a bag or what. Or I guess it came in a tin, like you said. But
Yeah. You can see what they're in there in that little round tin. Old-fashioned Christmas candy. That's
what it is.
I don't know if that was the name of it. That's what you ordered from Ward's or Sears catalog. I don't know how that works.
But they were ugly. Who would eat those? I mean, well, I guess we did. I mean,
Yeah,
or who would buy them?
Yeah.
I guess I should say who would buy them because they were so gross. And then again, like they didn't have wrappers, no wrappers at all, and you just put them out for everybody. Like here.
Can you imagine that now?
Oh God, I know.
Unwrap.
at a bar?
I bought a bag
bar.
of chips and I didn't eat it
Yeah,
because it had like a little hole in the corner. But I was like, did I just open these?
Right.
Or were they already open?
I know.
And I was like,
It's weird because back then I don't know, it wasn't that big a thing, I
Yeah.
guess, but not that.
She was saying last time we went trick or treating, right? That dude just gave us handfuls of popcorn.
Yeah.
Just do it in
That
the
was
bucket.
good. Well, he is a scooper though, didn't he?
He is a scoop. Well, he scooped it, out of his.
He
yeah,
scooped it, but he just threw it in the kids' bags with all the other
bag
candies in
fucking
there.
was full of popcorn.
It's like, hey,
That's
hey.
fucking weird, right? Wait, here's the butter. Like, hot butter. You're gonna fuck up all my candies, you son of a bitch.
Put a few squirts of that in there.
All hot. My candies all taste like butter. Man, I would love that. Where'd y'all go? I would love that. I was like, where'd y'all go?
That would be bad. Well, he didn't include the butter though, man. That's all.
Yeah,
We went to I don't know, am I allowed to say
Names,
names?
yes.
With a magic time machine, that place where we
Yeah.
We went there the other day and we had Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, he's
Oh,
the
wait.
waiter.
He got somebody's fries or tater tots or something, or some of his
Yeah.
fries and put it in his fanny pack. Dumped a whole bunch of ketchup
Hell
in
yeah.
there. He started
Oh,
eating them
really?
and taking an order. We were like, what the heck?
It was alright. I like that.
Entertaining.
It's a restaurant that's known for its entertainment. You
Especially
know?
when bands play in the back.
Yeah.
Do you have a terrifying true ghost story you want to share? Submit your story to Rigor Mortis Paranormal Podcast by visiting www.rigormortisparanormal.com. That's www.rigormortis paranormal.com and click on the Submit a Story button. Your story will be heard on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and all major podcast platforms. Rigor Mortis Paranormal Podcast. Let your story be told.
Me and Ian were talking about, I guess divas and that's including males too. I like to call them that also. That in sports, like those guys,
don't
they
get me
got,
started.
they gotta get catered to like hand and foot.
It just seems like these days, once a player becomes the GOAT, air quotes, they
Yeah, that's it. They lose all focus of like where they were and now where they're at. They become
everything's got to be handed to them.
Yeah.
Everything's about them. If something doesn't go their way, it's everyone else's fault but theirs.
I mean, not all of them, but there are some though. I mean, not all.
I'm talking about these players that are considered GOATs
Yeah.
like, these days. I'm not gonna name names. I don't want to offend anybody who's got any.
Fuck the
defamatory
Lakers,
beliefs.
man. The Lakers. Yeah, man. That's
one of
full of
those-
divas right there,
Oh,
man. But you know what? I mean, there are some on there that are. I mean, cause seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I did like Anthony Davis. I always have. I hate the Lakers, but I did like Anthony Davis,
You
and
feel
I was
like
kind of
him.
wishing that he would have came with the
See the uniform?
Yeah. Love that brow, man. Shit, they call him the brow. Anyway,
He's got a good game. He does have a good game.
but it's just weird now seeing how shitty that the whole team's doing. That is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And like I said too, and like you said, man, Kobe was probably the last best player they had on there.
Honestly,
I don't want to offend Shaq either, man. He lives in San Antonio. He used to. They'll have someone come by my house.
Well, that, we've been talking about the fat girls here. Oh wait, that wasn't him. That was Charlie.
and he ate his words.
Yeah.
Been eating too many churros.
DJ Diesel.
I like him, man. Shit.
Shaq,
What?
you DJing here? Like
Was it really?
Cowboys? Yeah, it was like. I guess by the time it's coming out, I don't know when. Actually, I don't remember when it was. I don't know if it's upcoming weekend or sometime this month. In March, I think. But yeah, DJ Diesel.
Really?
He's like real into it. The EDM, like the.
Wow, really?
He does not seem like the type.
No, but have you seen the videos?
No.
He gets down.
So that's like that big fat dude that has that beard and everything. That he's a DJ too. DJ Khaled, is that what they call
Oh
him?
yeah, he's like a rapper.
Be the
slash
best
DJ.
music.
Yeah.
God, that's pretty. Like I said, does he do anything else? Just say "We the best music" and shout his name throughout the song.
I guess.
I
don't really
what does he
listen to
do?
Yeah, he's a millionaire now, though, man. I don't know what he does,
He's
man.
a producer. I remember that. He's a producer.
Yeah,
I guess that's what he does.
I guess you gotta question that shit when you go like on America's Got Talent or something. That's like, well, I mean, he made it. He's getting paid a lot, man. It's like, how'd you get here? By yelling his name, I guess. You know? Wish I could do that, man. But anyway, we were talking about the sports. It was tennis, and then I even started thinking about golf and stuff like that too. I don't know if they have too many divas there, but man, there's some scandalous shit that goes on there.
I mean, Tiger Woods.
Yeah, but it's not only him.
Scandals. I don't know about if he's a diva or not, but no, those
scandalous
scandals.
though. Yeah, but and you know what though? It's not only him though. They had a lot of shit at races, and then golf seems so wholesome at one time, right? And then now it's just like there's some bullshit go on behind those doors there too, man.
I don't know if it was a Brian Regan scandal.
Yeah.
But I heard that there was a point where there was a scandal because they were using the wrong bird sounds at one point. It was like some sort of bird that was like its migratory patterns did not have that bird anywhere near there, but they were playing that sound. This might, and it was a Brian Regan skit, but I don't know if he based that off of true facts or not. But I mean, Brian Regan, I don't see why he wouldn't.
But what is it, like a crackle to scare away the crackles? You know how I don't know. Like some of the stores that we have here, they have the loudspeakers that chase away the crackles.
Yeah.
Because then they'll shit all over the place, man.
No, I think it was a bird that was.
They do. I'm worried about my car getting shit on, but like there are some people that have nice, trying to walk in with an umbrella. It's not raining. It's like it's about to. White rain. Yeah. But where I was going with this is way back, Jazz, man. I'm talking about. I just got out of high school, and I was like 19. I started working at an Army man, I was drinking early. An Army golf course. It's pretty nice too, man. And I think I mentioned it before too.
I used to work there, man, on a golf course.
But I'm sure I mentioned it before on this show that I did. There's a lot of.
You're hitting golf balls at you?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, man, that was fun. But they would actually. Those were the Shriners. They were assholes. But they weren't assholes because they would actually hook me up when I came in. They'd give me dollar bills or, here you go for being a good sport, So they were kind of cool.
They were still being assholes. Just getting got money out of it.
Well, I was in a cage, so I wasn't going to get hurt. But yeah, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take that,
They love me still.
Were you doing dancing in a cage? Or? I said you're in a cage now. They're throwing golf balls at you in the cage.
On the ball range. They have I was wondering why did they have a graded cage? Yeah, and that's what it is, man. They would aim for you too, man. Even though you're way back, because the Shriners, man, if you look at them, they're always big fat guys who smoke cigars. So you look at their forearms, I'm not kidding, their forearms are like huge, man. They're all like World War II vets or Vietnam vets, but they're just huge dudes, man. But I mean, they were pretty decent. Yeah, it was loud.
You sound like a battered woman.
Yeah. They gave me money.
They're decent though.
They hit it up. But they were cool though. I'm like, the ones that were rough, I'm not gonna lie. The ones that were rough were like the retired colonels and the higher ranking officers' wives, man. They thought that they owned you, man. And then I was lowly. But what happened there was I liked it kind of and I hated it at the same time. Because the job was pretty easy, but I worked in what's called a backroom, and all you do is when people come, everybody had their own gear. They had their bags and stuff. But once in a while, you'd have these people who came in, they'd rent them, and then I have to make sure they had all their irons and their woods, and then we give them they can rent the bags and all that. They rent the little vehicles and stuff. The only bad part about that is there was this big fat asshole, man. I hated that dude. He was honestly my boss. And this dude was a fucking asshole. He went out of his way to be an asshole. Like you weren't doing nothing and because he was one of those dudes that just didn't. He was he was a trainer, but he worked there and since I'm part of the back room, he can kind of give me orders, and man, he did. And this dude, his name was Steve Hillenburg, but
sounds like an asshole.
Yeah,
we all called him Hindenburg. You know what the Hindenburg was, right?
Big thing that fell.
Yeah, the big blimp that started on fire. Okay,
Yeah.
So we'd all call him Hindenburg.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought Steven Hillenburg. I thought that was a producer or
I'd say the
TV
name
show
sounds
creator.
really familiar. I don't know from where.
Yeah, what I don't know.
It might just be the same name. Yeah.
But
similar.
well, that's what isn't it? We call him Steve, but it's Steve Hillenburg. But if it's Steven, it might be. You might be right. If it is, man, that's coincidence, man. So,
Yeah. Or it was him.
maybe him. Maybe he lost a lot of weight. But that guy was huge, man. Too fucking fat bastard, son of a bitch. Yeah, he was a sorry ass motherfucker.
Hindenburg masked him pretty well.
Yeah, dude, that dude was like pushing like 400 pounds. Actually, I'm sure he was over 400 pounds.
Dang.
But the thing too is he was kind of tall. Who was he?
So Steven Hillenburg is the guy who made SpongeBob and passed away.
Oh
a few years
my
back.
God, really? Well, no, that's not the same guy. Cause that first
guy's
Steve,
little.
that guy was cool, man. I
Yeah.
liked him. I watched those were. Man, I'm sorry that he has the same name. But this is like I'm talking about. This is back in the '80s. Like I'm talking like mid '80s. So this guy, well, what he did was. He was, like I said, he was an asshole, and he always reminded you that you can be replaced, and like he would just fuck with you for no reason. I mean, so the thing too is when he would go, I don't know where he got this shit from. He would dress. In the '80s, they started kind of coming out of that, you know, where the stupid golf look where you have the high socks and the weird vest. They started going like towards polos and slacks, but man. I don't know who did that. I mean, like, I always, like, wondered, you know, because that shirt was huge, man. I mean, that's a big-ass shirt that he had on. And I always thought that the people from the... you know, the people who cover the Texas Rangers, when it starts to rain, the field, those guys... I was like, that's where he gets his shirts done. Anyway, the guy was, like I said, he was a fucking idiot. And he was always just an asshole. So what he did was... I worked doing several jobs too. It wasn't only that. They'd make me go out on the trails, and there was two. I can't say them because I don't want to say it, but there was two courses, and they're all 18 holes on this side, 18 holes on that side. And there's a split in the road where it'll come up to where that's coming, where I'm coming from. So he's a golf pro, supposedly. So he's gonna show. He teaches people how to golf. So normally the ladies would go there, and he was always teaching the ladies. And I do thought he was always, but I don't see how a motherfucker was always chewing. And this particular day, he came in, dude. I remember he came in this big ass orange polo shirt, and he had like white slacks and the shoes. And so he's trying to mac with it, and this lady looks like, you know, a dwarf compared to him. She's average size, but she's an older woman. Like, and he's trying to really, like, you know, oh, you look so beautiful today, Miss Smith, or whatever her name was. And, you know, he's like, you're gonna learn golf and this and that. But like, he's always eating. Like, he's talking to her and he's holding like a fucking hot dog or something. And I'm like, dude, you know, like, and we look at him like, dude, that's not how you mac, bro. But dude, so.
They put the food down.
So they get in the golf cart, right? Okay, so the golf cart, they jump in the golf cart, and she's driving, right? And he sits his fat ass because he's too busy eating. So he gets his big, and you know, it's hard, man. Those things are small. So he's kind of like putting his head down, and his head's rubbing against the top of the car, you know, and then like he just sits, you know, where he's making, you know, you're fat when you make noise when you're trying to get in the car, man.
It turns sideways.
Yeah, like hold up. That's what he always.
Oh man.
So he gets in there, man, and they take off. Well, it just so happens when I go out on those routes, I have to check the restrooms because they have restrooms out there, and I also had to check the igloos. They had big blocks of ice, and I had to make sure the water was, you know, it was cold in the summer. So we're going, I'm driving, and dude, I just so happened to see this. I didn't know they were taking off with me, and when I did, I saw his fat ass in front of me. Like, fuck, man. So he's driving up, man, and lopsided motherfucker. But dude, for real, the golf carts, they're pretty powerful. So they're driving, and I can see him moving his mouth. I don't know if he was chewing or trying to mac, but he was moving his mouth. And you could see him, and he had his kind of his arm. He had no choice because he's fat, but he had it like around the lady, like, you know, he had to extend his hoof. So they're going down, and I'm watching them, dude, and I'm like, man, fuck that motherfucker. I'm behind him still, like, yeah, I don't like him. So no bullshit. We get to the Y, And this lady is going a decent mile an hour, you know. It didn't go fast. I mean, I think tops is like 15 or 20 miles an hour or something. Man, she hits that turn to the left. And I had to follow him. Man, when she did that, I saw this back. Oh! That fat motherfucker rolled. Fucking, he fell out and he rolled. Y'all remember, what is it, 48 Hours, the second one, where the bus was flipping? But he looked like a school bus because he had his orange shirt. And he was flipping. I saw that when they made the turn, he was going. I said, fuck no. I started going this way. And when I was going this way to the right, I said, I was supposed to go to the left, but I went to the right instead. He's rolling and he's like rolling big time, and he's like deathly, and like, man, I'm not kidding, like mid-roll when he was bouncing off the floor, he made eye contact with my ass. And I was looking at him, and I was like, oh fuck, and I kept going. I was like, dude, he when he landed, and those things, like I said, they don't go very fast, so I'm in hearing, range. I'm in hearing range. He's like, Robert! And like, Robert! He was calling me, and I was like, I'm stupid. I just drove. Dude, I couldn't stop. I was laughing so fucking hard. No bullshit. I rolled in. I parked the golf cart. I didn't even finish my route. I said, fuck that. I'm going to finish it later. I got on the ball range thing. I said, I'm going out in the ball range. They can't fuck with me there. As I was going, I feel like the kid from A Christmas Story that he feels bad when he sees, oh no, when his tongue is stuck to the whatchamacallit, because I'm driving right there and I was like, dude, and I keep thinking about it, like, dude, he saw me. I know he saw me because I looked right at him and he was calling my name. So I'm driving on the ball range. I keep thinking about that. I'm getting nervous because I'm saying I'm gonna get fucking fired, man. And so I'm driving and I was like, dude, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm watching all the action going on the outside. And I'm in the cage, man, and I'm just driving aimlessly. I'm supposed to do a certain pattern. And I see it, man. They have a flatbed where they would pick up the damn cars, the little carts when they were break down on the course. So it started taking off, and some of the maintenance guys, they didn't like me, but they weren't. He wasn't their boss, but they were jumping on, and I see him taking off down the trail, and I was like, oh my god, it's serious, you know. I was like, hopefully they're gonna come back with a cart. No, man, they're coming back with that guy. Man, he's holding his arm, and he's like, you know, he's wincing in pain, and here comes a lady that kind of threw him out. She's kind of following him, right? So I'm like, oh, and I was like, shit. So it ended right there, and it was a Friday. I remember it was a Friday, so I was like, fuck yeah, you know, I'm not, you know, no bullshit, man. Fucking Monday, I come in, and my boss, you know, he's waiting for me, and I came in.
Did you have a cast on?
No, my other boss, there's another guy. Mr. Mitch was kind of cool. He was really cool with me. He came in and he goes, hey, can I talk to you? I said, come to my office. I gotta talk to you. And I was like, oh fuck, man. Yeah. Sure enough, man, I go in, that motherfucker is in there, fat motherfucker. Oh, he's sitting in there and he has a cast, and he's giving me the stink eye. Man, I was like, you know, I saw him and I was like, fuck, dude. And I was like, here it goes, you know. So he's like, hey, well, it's come to my attention, you know, that you know, you were actually passing, and that, you know, that he, I don't know, as that when he fell, I know you're aware that he had an accident. And I said, no, I wasn't. I was like, you know, and I was trying to be stupid. Yeah. You okay? And the guy was pissed at me. You know, like he wanted to really tell me go fuck myself. So I was like, hey, dude, I was like, no, I wasn't aware of that. I'm sorry. This guy, man, he's like, you're a bald-faced liar. He told me like that. Like, and I know, I said, like, you know, I made eye contact with you, and I was yelling at you, and the guy's like, he's like, oh, hold on, you know, so let me finish this. The boss, he's like, just, you know, don't.
So he wanted you to pick him up.
Okay, that's what happened. That's what happened because, well, that's exactly what happened. Where he claims that you just kept riding on and you didn't help him. And to me, I'm thinking, that's what I was thinking. I didn't have a fucking winch, man. I don't have a forklift on me. What the fuck do you want me to comfort him? Like a horse with a broken leg. Just pet his head, you'll be okay. So I didn't know what the fuck to do, and I was like, no sir, man. Yeah, feed him oats with my head, a bunch of Reese's Pieces. There you go.
Dude, you want me to take you out of your misery, or like?
I think I told you about this. This happened to. I just remember when you were talking about that. When I don't know if I was at Walmart or.
Wait, are you done with your story?
No, go. I was listening. No, I was doing this like that because it shut down on me. No, it shut down on me. We're live.
Did I interrupt you?
No, sorry. You're good. No, I want to hear the whatchamacallit, man.
No. I don't think you were with Jasmine with me, but back then we were at Walmart or something, and I don't know where we were.
You told me about it.
Remember?
Keep going, man.
It had just rained, and it was kind of wet. There's just one like tall, skinny, I don't know, Hispanic, I don't know what he was, but he was walking in. And he walked by, but I see another guy coming out, big dude, and he had like sweat shorts on, and he was just dressed kind of comfortable. Yeah. And he starts like running forward for some reason, like it was downhill, and he went face first, boom, on the ground. His pants went all the way down to his ankles. His ass was hanging out, everything. That dude that was walking towards him, he almost ran back to his car. He turned around, went back, like he left something in there, and he just got in the truck and sat in there. So that dude got up, like, pulled his pants up, and kept stumbling into his car. I don't know if he was drunk or what. Man. It was bad, man.
Dude, why?
Then the other dude got out of his car when he walked by. He was like, he saw everything, and he turned around and ran back to his car. I was like, I'm not fucking helping this dude. Sorry, Rob.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why is it? And that happens. And I can claim the same thing. When a fat guy falls, man, why does his pants always have to expose some sort of crack, man?
It was his whole ass, dude.
Oh, God.
That guy could have like a broken arm or like neat stitches, and that's the first thing. Like, I don't give a fuck. I gotta pick up my pants, man. This is bad, man. Like, sir, you got a big break right there. Anyway, where I was going with that is just the guy my boss. Because the guy was upset because I kept denying it. I didn't see it, and the big guy, he was getting kind of antsy. Like, you saw me, you just left me thrown there. You didn't stop and render 8. I remember. I'm like, dude, for real? I was like, I didn't. So the big boss I was in there, he's like, hey, Steve, he goes, why don't you wait for us on outside? He goes, you know what? Just go ahead and go do whatever it is you need to do. You feel any pain, just go back home. It's no biggie. But just, no, I'm gonna stay and. And then he says, but he was like adamant, like something better be done about this. He says, Steve, let me handle this. He said, I'll take care of it. So the guy, obviously, man, he was like, he says, like, hey, close the door on the way out. And then he looks at me and he said, did you really see him? Or, he really wanted me to tell him the truth. Did you see him or did you really pass him up? And then I said, sir, I didn't see him. I didn't realize he was like that. And then the dude, he says, okay, that's fine. So he kind of laughed and said, like, he's like, I wonder what that kind of looked like when he was falling out. He says, I bet that was quite a sight. And he was laughing a little bit because you can tell, like, he kind of didn't like it. Anyway, I was fine. I made it.
Did you, by accident, like, oh, man, you should have seen
No, fuck no, man. I stuck to the line, man. I stuck to the line. But, dude, anyway, I wound up leaving because it was kind of like a temporary job. And the guy that came back in, he was actually good buddies. He was a cool guy, too. His name was Fred. But he was a good buddy with that fat guy. But he was cool with me, so that I don't understand that. But hey, I was like,
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but like anyway, though, he was like, the other guy rubbing it. I'm sure glad you're back. And I'm like, man, fuck you, man. Like, but man, that was funny. I couldn't stop laughing, David, man.
I can only imagine. Sounds like something out of a movie.
No, but it's one of those like, that's what you get because all the other guys in the fucking. They called it the field house, but it was a place where it's where the maintenance guys hung out to when they do the grounds crew. And they're all laughing at his fat ass, man. And even the boss too is like, "Pinche panzón, that's what you get. Why are you going that fast if you're that heavy?"
It's like this, he started to move forward and you couldn't stop.
Wait, I missed it. Was it the lady in there with him?
No, I was cool. No, she didn't show up. She probably was embarrassed. She's like, I'm never going back over there. I had to fucking sit. They make me give this guy. Yeah, why couldn't they lend me the fork, the flatbed to drive them around? Yeah, what do they call those things that you kind of strap them down, but you have to click them in, click.
Yeah, ratchet straps.
Oh my God, yeah. But anyway, I'm so sorry. I spent too much time on that. But what do you say,
fella?
It was
worth it. The payoff was worth it.
It was, yeah. But you know what? It was honestly because. This may be a mean thing to say, but man, fuck it, dude. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that fat asshole, man. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I took up too much time there.
Oh, that's cool. That was a good story.
I
don't know. What do you say? Drummer of the burial grounds. Did you want to start with that, or do you want to start with the?
That's fine with you guys. Wait, I gotta find that one. Yes, we can do that one.
Okay. All right, let's do that then.
Get started.
Hello, my name is Lily, and I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina, and I want to tell you my story about one day when I was outside of my house. I felt something that was with me. Then I just started recording with my phone, and when I recorded it back, I heard like what sounded like drumming, and like it was a bunch of people, like a party kind of going, and music and drumming. So every night here at my house, if you like listen very carefully, you can hear the drumming. I don't know, all I know that my land is on Indian burial ground, so I think it might be like the tribe and stuff going by, or they don't know that they're dead, or I'm not sure, but it's just like it's kind of spooky. I hear kids, like you can hear kids in that recording. I would show it to you guys, but it's like I don't have it anymore somehow. Like it erased from my phone. A lot of stuff that I recorded is erased all of a sudden. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, my house is for the investigators that love it. It would be Disneyland for them, because some days it's quiet, some days you can hear stuff, and you can, like, stuff happens inside the house, like stuff falls all of a sudden. Like if you're in the kitchen, you can hear like the pans and stuff falling, but when you go back, it's nothing falling. Everything is normal. So that's my story, and hope you guys like it.
Wow. I don't know, but I would not want my house built on top of an Indian burial ground.
I feel like this whole world is built on the Indian burial ground.
It probably is, I guess, at this point. I mean, really, it seems like a lot of stories are based on, you know.
Did you see how like they found all those? Yeah, they're finding like so many kids, like all over the place buried. Oh no, this is just
No.
yeah, so many Indian. Yeah, because they would. I guess okay, maybe I'm fucking this up, but apparently they sent the Indians away, the kids, to schools. But at the schools, I guess they were not treating them right. So when they would die, they would just bury them wherever. So they're finding like a shit ton of them all over the place.
How do they not know that? Hey, my kid hasn't come back from school. How do
Well,
they know?
I guess I don't know. Okay.
Well, back in those days, I think you stayed for the whole week at school.
I think
I'm
they
just
just
kidding.
sent them just to. Okay, I don't know. I'm fucking it.
We send
Go
them
Google
home.
it. But apparently, I'm sure a lot of people know. But anyways, yeah. So now that I don't know.
Where was that? I mean, just like in Indian territory.
I think it was like in Canada. I think
Oh, wow.
they're finding them here, but it's a big deal. I'm surprised I don't know about it.
No,
Everybody knows about it.
I don't even know the full story.
but
No, it's fucked up.
do you think that it's like everywhere though, almost? Because all the people who died from like from when humans started becoming, humans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guarantee within this radius somewhere, like maybe like less than a mile, right? You're gonna find human
Maybe
bones
now,
somewhere.
even now, we're just walking all over,
Oh yeah. Unless they just fucking moved it while they were digging the fucking.
Hey, but last time we were talking about, monsters, we were talking about how some, different cultures have different monsters and whose monsters are stronger. Same thing here. It's like, now we got Indian burial grounds here. Like, over there in Egypt and all, they got those, monkeys, and they got all the crazy stuff
Egyptian,
over there.
yeah.
So who can curse? Like, who does the worst curse?
Who's his worst?
Yeah.
That would be a
I'm going to
match,
say
man.
mummies, but I don't know.
Because, I mean, like, King Tut, like, if you dig that up or whatever, supposedly
Yeah.
there's, like,
If you had the mummy against a Wendigo, who would you go for real?
Oh, Wendigo. The dusty ass mummy.
That's all he could do is just come out and scare you, because you're scared. You know he's dead over 6,000 years, but
you unwrap him and then what?
Yeah,
Like,
that's all he does. That's his defense. I mean, he got this big fucking Wendigo looking at you, drooling and ready to tear you up, and then you got this fucking mummy.
well, the thing about the mummies is the curses, though.
Yeah,
that's what will get you.
But do they curse? They curse. They're part of the curse. They're coming back. Because if you ever look at him,
But I don't think a Wendigo is worried about being cursed because a Wendigo is a
he's been cursed, yeah.
True.
So.
And then
That's
you always
true.
see back like with Boris Karloff and all the other ones where the mummy would come. I don't even know if he was on that one, but like the mummy, all they do is just attack you by grabbing your throat. And, that's it, choking you.
And it's weird. The person that's always getting choked, they just stand there and they wait for them to
Just scream.
And then they wait until they get closer and like ah. Like,
Did you ever notice that the mummy's eyes though? There's no fucking jaundice, nothing. They're just clear.
They're
like,
nice,
damn, those
clean
are pretty eyes. The rest of them is dusty like a motherfucker, but yeah.
It doesn't look like he's like an alcoholic or anything, man. Like just regular old eyes.
Yeah, no dust eyes are there. There's eyes actually in the sockets, no raisins, nothing like that. They're just beautiful. Like it'd be an Bausch and Lomb commercial, right?
Oh my
He's
god.
like a contact commercial.
But that's the thing too. Is like, well, I mean, it's crazy though that she did say that because I wonder, like, like, okay, you're hearing those drums in the. She said the mountains or something like that behind. That must be beautiful country wherever they're at, man.
Yeah.
You got a mountain in your backyard, damn, dude.
What she say? North Carolina?
North Carolina, I believe, yeah. And they said that, well, yeah, I'm sure they got some range out there or something. It's not like Texas, man. You got to go north more to see anything, everything over here. So.
Yeah.
The hill country, though. We got the hill country.
Oh,
Hell yeah. But,
Yeah.
you know, because that would be the first thing I would think. If somebody's up there partying with a boombox, man, and they were listening to Vinnie Paul, right? Pantera going off. Like, yeah, but there was no guitars, Roberto. So that's crazy, man. Can you imagine that? I'm kidding, but whoever the haunted ghost is doing rolls and stuff.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what kind of drums was it now? Is it like a a pearl drum set or like a nice 7-piece drum set with the cymbals and snares?
Right? No birds. You got wind chimes and all that, man. She's a gong.
You can hear the what are they, tritoms, the whole nine.
Cowbell?
Cowbell.
Needs more cowbell.
Always need more.
More cowbell.
But but she was also saying that her house was haunted, and I don't know if you all remember. She's this is the same woman who gave us the Skinwalker one, and she actually gave us another one that was really good also. So
Hey, maybe on a future episode.
Yeah,
I'll listen to that one too.
man, I guess what do you call that? I'm stereotyping. And I shouldn't. But like if you're like old school, like let's just say you're going back in Scotland. And it's old school, so what are you gonna hear? Bagpipes or something like that?
Oh yeah, right.
You know, so that's what I'm thinking. You know, or like you go to Mexico and then you hear like accordion or.
Maracas, yeah. That'd be crazy hearing an accordion.
What are those things that they click on the hand where they're snapping?
Yeah. I don't know what those are called. Are those
I
maracas
don't know who
or-
knows how to
No,
work
those are like little
Yeah, the
cymbals.
maracas are
Yeah,
I thought those are belly dancers
no,
that use those.
but they don't have metal. They're wood. There's some that are wood. They make like a clicking sound.
Yeah, they got it on Mexican dance, folklorico or whatever.
Oh,
dancing.
okay. Shows how well I know my culture.
With the belly dancers, yeah, dude.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Lily, for that. That was an awesome story.
You want to get on to the next one? Or just
Yeah, might as well get back into that bad boy, right?
What about who was in my room last night?
Man, hell yeah.
There you go.
Hi, I have a story to tell. When this happened when I was about 6 years old. My dad was in the army, and he was being transferred to Germany. And before we left, my mom wanted to go visit her dad, so we went to visit my grandpa in Missouri. And I was about 6 years old. My brothers and sisters stayed at my uncle's house, but since I was the baby, I went wherever my parents were since I was the youngest one. So we were at my grandpa's house, and it was getting late, and I was kind of young. So my dad took me upstairs, and I was going to go to sleep. Now, my grandmother passed away when my mom was 11 years old in 1945, so I never met my grandmother. But when my dad took me upstairs, he put me in bed, closed the door, he went back downstairs. Well, a lady came into my room. And she had like brownish, reddish hair. She was wearing a dark green dress. And she came over and she started talking to me. And she knew my name, but I had never seen her before. She told me not to be scared because she was going to take care of me overnight. That I didn't need to be scared. And then she left. Well, I ended up falling asleep. The next morning, we're sitting at the table eating breakfast, and I asked my mom, I said, who was the lady that came to my room last night? And they just kind of looked at me, and they're like, what? No, nobody went to the room. It was just me, your dad, and Grandpa here. And I told her, I said, no, there was a lady that came to my room and told me not to be scared because she was going to take care of me overnight, that I didn't need to be scared. Well, my mom asked me what the lady looked like. And I told her, I said, well, she had brown and red hair, and she was wearing a dark green dress. And her and my grandpa just looked at each other with their mouths open, like they were both like, what the heck's going on here? Well, come to find out, my grandmother, who had passed away, it's 30 years before this, had brownish red hair, and when they buried her in a dark green dress. And my mom kept asking me, are you sure? Did she have earrings? Did she not have earrings? I said, no, she had earrings, and her hair was like, I told her the color, it was brown mixed with red, and it was like in a bun on her head, and the more I told them, the more freaked out they got, because my grandpa lived in this house, but he had never saw anything or heard anything, and it was just a weird experience that I saw that, and he never did, and they were, my mom passed away 10 years ago, but all the way up to then, she was still like shocked that I had seen what I saw and told her this story.
Scary.
I'd say comforting in a way. I mean, at the beginning, at least.
I mean, wait, did anything happen at the end? No, right?
No.
It was just like it was.
No,
Yeah.
and then that's the thing too, is because obviously it just looked like a normal woman coming in, no transparency or whatever. So that's, that just like,
I guess so. He thought it was a real person, so yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just me, I guess, knowing it was a ghost.
I mean,
I guess I find it scary.
did he say he was positive it wasn't a dream or something?
No.
I mean, that'd be weird even if it was a dream because he's never seen his grandma. So
Yeah.
and
But he was able to identify her, right? I mean,
yeah,
so
they were
that's
saying
kinda
even like that's what they buried her in, was a green dress, and that her hair was the same, red or reddish,
orange and brown.
So that's for him to not ever have seen her before, and then kind of get him, to describe her like that. That is crazy cool, man, but like crazy too at the same time. Man.
But my question is, I correct me if I missed it in the thing. What was going on in his life that she said everything will be fine? I'm watching over you. Like what did he like? Was there something going on in his life that he needed to hear that message, or
Was she just being a grandma?
Just being a grandma.
Maybe being scared coming into
I
that
think
house.
it's a little bit personal to ask.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, it's just a thought that I had.
I'm just kidding. No, you're right. Like what? You can't just call and not tell us what you're going through, bro.
Yeah. What was the purpose of the message?
Well, I mean, I know he was saying his dad was going to
Germany.
Germany.
Oh, his dad was going to war.
And then,
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
And then that
I guess that answers the question.
or you may have been scared being in that room too, right? You never been there and you're all asleep by yourself. That's kind of creepy too, man.
God, I just remembered this happened when he was 6. Yeah, okay. That explains it.
So yeah, it's like I'll be scared too, man. It's just like hearing the creaky old house and stuff like that. But yeah, you know what? That's pretty awesome too. It's like you said, that could be comforting too. You know, after a while, you know when you find out who it was.
Yeah.
I wonder if you get tripped out though, like, oh wow, you know, that's grandma. She came and she was dead and she visited me. Like I don't know, I'll be kind of like.
I feel like I'd be more scared than comforted, but like. And when you're older, he's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But now, like at that in the heat of the moment, it's like, yikes.
Like, in the world.
That's sure there's not a demon disguise or something.
It could be too sometimes, but I mean they were comforting him too, so we got that also. But
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, Jazz, remember like we were saying there's a lot of bones and stuff, like we stepping all over.
yeah.
So do you think like animals have like souls and stuff like that too? Like, because they do say, right, there's haunted animals and stuff like this. This is, I'm going way off
Well,
on here.
didn't the Pope say dogs go to heaven too? So I mean,
All dogs.
all dogs.
All dogs.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
I never
I
seen
wanted
that.
to.
I saw it.
Oh God, I
They
almost
said it's
cried just looking
crying.
at a clip from it.
Yeah, they said I think Burt Reynolds was in that, right?
Oh, was it?
I don't know. I could be wrong, man. How can he make you cry, man? You guys said this. Boogie Nights was good. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway,
Sorry, yeah, we can say it.
Yo, do you think about it? They do have this whole stuff, and we can have chickens and cows coming after us for eating them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Revenge. Yeah, like we're stepping on a Tyrannosaurus. A Triceratops, horn or something right now. I mean, like you're gonna see one in your living room. It's like, oh.
Like a ghost cow?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, because like there's, okay, that's what I'm saying. Do they have souls? I know they're not intelligent like humans, but like like that's what I'm saying. Like
Dolphins are.
Dolphins
Well, maybe,
and kind of
like-
monkeys too, right?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Humans stick around for a reason, though, right?
Yeah,
Like, what would a cow be
unfinished
in our
business.
living room?
You ate my brother.
I'm here for revenge, right? I'm gonna hoof you to death.
Or maybe our hell is animals' heaven. So when we die, we go down there, and they're there. They're just waiting
To eat us?
Oh yeah, I'll take that fat guy, medium rare. Should I trim the fat?
That'd be crazy. Well, I wonder if that house was built on an Indian burial ground too.
I believe, didn't he say something like North Carolina also? Or something like North to South? I gotta hear it again. I apologize if I got that wrong. But yeah.
That'd be a coincidence.
Oh man, yeah, it's the same area. They're neighbors. We don't even know it.
I hear that drumming too. But thank you so much, Robert, for that.
That was a good story.
For the story. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a good story. Man, what do you say we get into sobering thoughts?
Sober Rock Whippaloo.
Get sobered
Yeah,
up.
he needs it.
How about a hot bath?
What you need to do is drink milk.
I was gonna say milk.
Oh God.
Some warm milk. Oh, that was
Drink fish juice. That'll sober you up.
Oh, yeah. Some fish sauce straight out of the bottle.
If not, listen to this segment here. It's pretty good, man. Something Harp. Wait, I can't give it away, right?
Nah, let's get into it. Let's just get into it.
All right.
It's time for
Alright, today's topic is about harp. Say it with me. Harp. Not the musical instrument, but rather the high-frequency active auroral research program, which is an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. That was a mouthful. Anyways, it operated from the 1990s until 2014, when it changed hands from that collection of government entities to just being under the control of the University of Alaska Fairbanks, which has operated it since. Simply put, its purpose was to, well, still is, I guess, to analyze the ionized part of Earth's upper atmosphere, which includes the thermosphere and parts of the mesosphere and exosphere. Furthermore, HARP was intended to investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance. So, in other words, to develop better radio and surveillance technology. As for why we're discussing it today, apparently there were, and likely still are, people who believe HARP is a tool or weapon that is capable of controlling the weather. Claims include, but are not limited to, the following. According to Nick Begich Jr., I don't care if I pronounced this right, the son of late U.S. Representative Nick Begich and brother of former U.S. Senator Mark Begich, the HARP facility could trigger earthquakes and turn the upper atmosphere into a giant lens so that the sky would literally appear to burn. End quote. Apparently, he maintains a website that claims HARP is a mind control device as well. But I didn't bother checking the website. Didn't feel like there was much need there. A Russian military journal wrote that ionospheric testing would trigger a cascade of electrons that could flip Earth's magnetic poles. Technically, Earth's magnetic poles will inevitably flip someday, but that's natural. That, happens on its own. I wouldn't be surprised if we do eventually develop technology that could be capable of this, but I don't know why we would, when this would happen, or how this would happen. But it's not happening with today's technology, I'll tell you that much. Former governor of Minnesota, ex-professional wrestler, and documentary maker Jesse Ventura questioned whether the government is using the site to manipulate the weather or to bombard people with mind-controlling radio waves. He even made an official request to visit the site and then showed up with a camera crew anyways when he was denied. Physicist Bernard Eastland claimed that HARP includes technology based on his own patents that has the capability to modify weather and neutralize satellites. Not too surprised by the neutralize satellites thing. I feel like that's something our government would be working on. It has been proposed as a cause of low-frequency background hums said to be heard in various locales. 2 Georgia men arrested on drug charges in November 2016 were reportedly plotting domestic terrorism based on conspiracy theories about HARP. The Coffee County Sheriff's Office said the men possessed a massive arsenal that included AR-15 rifles, Glock handguns, a Remington rifle, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. According to the police, the men wanted to destroy HARP because they believe the facility manipulates the weather, controls minds, and even traps the souls of people. Police say the men confessed that God told them to go and blow this machine up that kept souls, so souls could be released. I said souls wrong the first time, I don't care, leave it in there. In 2010, Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez, I don't care how that's pronounced, I'm saying huge, I like it that way, claimed that HARP, or a program like it, triggered the Haiti earthquake. For those of you who don't remember, the Haiti earthquake was actually triggered by a avalanche or something of the sort, if I remember correctly. I didn't write that down. Anyways, I don't understand where or how these conspiracy theories started and propagated, and I can't for the life of me begin to understand them. To begin with, let's use lightning as an example, right? If we have a device capable of controlling the weather, right, it should be able to, make a thunderstorm. And, let's take a look at how much energy is in a lightning bolt. Each lightning strike, remember, this is stuff that's hotter than the surface of the sun, contains 1 million joules of energy. For reference, a city of about 1 million people in the US requires about 1,500 megawatts. So, converting from joules to watts, so that's 1.21 gigawatts, or, as Doc Brown said it, I prefer gigawatts myself, of power compared to 1,500 megawatts. It's a bit of a difference there. That's a lot of power for a single strike of lightning, and I seriously doubt we have the energy capabilities to manipulate weather systems into creating thunderstorms. For reference, lightning strikes the Earth about 8.64 million times a day, or about 196 times per storm. Even a single thunderstorm, on average, would require insane amounts of power to create artificially, even if we were capable of doing so. Not to mention, as I recall, a lot of the issues with Harp was that it was being blamed for increasingly dangerous storms and weather patterns. So we're not talking about an average thunderstorm, which would be 196 lightning strikes per storm. We're talking about something that'd be, up there. So yeah, I don't see us being able to produce enough energy to even create one thunderstorm. So, moving away from thunderstorms, I did find a handy chart which showed how much energy each magnitude of earthquakes releases. Because remember, that natural disaster is weather phenomenon. It's not just limited to thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, yada yada. It's also apparently capable of causing earthquakes. So going down the line from a 1.0 magnitude all the way up to a 9.0 magnitude, a 1.0 magnitude earthquake produces 0.56 kilowatt hours of energy, which is about 0.5 kilograms of TNT. 2.0 magnitude is 17.5 kilowatts, 15 kilograms of TNT. 3.0 magnitude, 556 kilowatt hours, 0.5 tons of TNT. A 4.0 magnitude is 17.5 megawatt hours, which is 15 tons of TNT. A 5.0 magnitude earthquake produces 556 megawatt hours or 500 tons of TNT. 6.0, 17.5 gigawatt hours, 15 kilotons of TNT. 7.0 magnitude is 556 gigawatt hours, which is 500 kilotons of TNT. 8.0 magnitude is 17.5 TWH, I think it's terawatt hours of power, which is 15 million tons of TNT, and 9.0 magnitude is 556 terawatt hours, or 500 million tons of TNT. So even if I was to buy that we were capable of creating an earthquake as one of those low magnitudes, in terms of energy, not necessarily far-fetched. Even if the mechanics behind the principle doesn't necessarily add up with the available technology when it's constructed and operated, it's ridiculous to think we'd be able to accurately target them directly to any part of the world at all. I can't even begin to imagine what a device capable of all that would look like, let alone the insane amount of power it would draw on each activation.
Anyways,
so I don't know if monsters can really take
you're gonna have to break that down for us.
Right.
Like layman's terms, not like smart,
Not smart layman.
like the bottom of the stupidest layman. Just like lay.
Like remedial kindergarten, man.
So there are people. There's this one. There was this research done, and they made these facilities to do this research. The U.S. government buildings.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, okay. Go ahead now.
And there are people who, I guess, because they don't understand what is happening here, they think that actually this is the stuff that they made to do this research is actually used to control weather. And so they're blaming it on all these conspiracy theorists are blaming Harp on things like increasingly dangerous weather patterns, so extra crazy thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and stuff like that. And then you got some people that are really out there saying that it is a mind control device or captures your soul. And I didn't even bother addressing that stuff because
right, like if it's like turbocharged and then it's stuff like.
You're so up.
Yeah.
It's like those little
I'm just
boxes
sitting here, my
that
soul
they-
just took
that they
off. A tornado went over me. It took 4 of them to pull it out of me. All right.
Category 5 hurricane or TT. What are they measuring?
Yeah,
The typhoon, right?
F5. What does it go to? F8 now or something?
Something like that.
Something way up there.
Fajitas?
The Fajita scale.
Oh god. But anyways, so basically, my response to all that was just to look at the energy, and mind you, some of the energy stuff is watts. There's watts and watt hours and stuff like that. If I remember right, that's like electrical engineering stuff. I didn't even take a class on that in college, so I don't really understand that. So I might have been using watts when I should have been using watt hours. I might have been using watt hours when I should have. I might not have properly set the units, but ultimately, what I was just trying to say is the amount of energy that would be needed to control the weather, to make thunderstorms even more crazy, even more tornadoes, even bigger, hurricanes even stronger. That would require way too much power. And I mean,
That you don't think we're capable of that, like. So where do you stand? Like, what do you think it's possible?
I do think it's possible, but
Like,
not
do you think
right
that's
now.
what's going on?
No, definitely not, because it.
I believe in all conspiracies.
So why they compared? Was that you that compared it to TNT? Or?
No, that was I don't know if we're gonna trim that down, but I really shouldn't have gone through the whole list. But it was just a chart I found on the internet that was just saying, a 1.0 magnitude earthquake is about 0.5 kilograms of TNT, and a 9.0 is 500 million tons of TNT. And so they're just because I think TNT people kind of understand better than kilowatt hours or.
So how many tons of TNT do you think Rob can generate on a toilet? I'm just saying anything is possible.
Maybe
or any of us in that case.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the average.
I'd like to see you try to harness that power.
Hey, you never know. Because one time I saw a story about like a bunch of cows farting.
Oh yeah,
And then
methane?
yeah, and then
It's
like
bad.
I don't know.
Pretty bad.
Crazy shit happened.
Literally.
I saw an article yesterday, as a matter of fact. They're talking about. I've been looking at different articles on, I guess, technology that's in the, I guess, fighter jets and stuff like that. Technology.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about this one from China. Supposedly, they have this. Man, I don't remember how it was exactly, but they have this new, I guess, fighter jet that they're working on. That it uses I think it uses air, basically. It doesn't have like your general engine. It uses air in magnets or something, to where it sucks up the air, and like some magnet makes something go back and forth between inside this base or something, and it's what generates the I guess the ability for it to fly, and
That's
and
cool.
I don't know how fast it goes. It's like some crazy
Yeah.
however many millions of miles per hour or something ridiculous. I mean,
Imagine having to test run that, right?
supposedly it will be ready like in 20 years or something like that. But I mean.
1,000,000 miles an hour?
No, I mean I don't know. I'm just throwing the numbers out there, but but it was something ridiculous. It's like a Mach 12 or something.
Yeah, you keep missing the drops, man.
We're gonna come back around.
I think you go like around
Jump on my house
like
floor.
an hour or something like that with this.
Hey, I feel like maybe like okay, so say this was something that was really going on. I know you don't have your doubts, but whatever,
Yeah.
So if this was something that was really going on, like I feel like maybe it would be a good idea at first, like they had good intentions because like places with droughts and stuff,
Right.
But then I feel like it.
They hired some asshole.
Yeah, like,
The wrong person.
Some guy named Steve.
Hillenburg. He's like, is there any way you can make it rain hot dogs? Fucker.
So,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do think someday we might have that power in our hands, but just not right now. we can't harness that much energy or in bursts. So for me, that's the big kicker here. Is just, and I'm sure there are other aspects to this that have major holes, but that's what stuck out to me is just the energy required to do these things. I can't imagine we are capable of producing that yet. Someday, sure. I'm not against the idea. It doesn't seem too far-fetched, honestly. And I'm sure that if we were to ever create a device like that, I would think it's with the best intentions, which is to get drought, areas, get rain over there.
And that's the way it always starts. Like nuclear energy is great for energy, but at the same time, look what else you can do with it.
That is true, man.
And you know what? The other thing that I just thought about too is if we had a device that lets us, harness and manipulate weather, why aren't we colonizing Mars with it? There's a little bit of moisture in there, and you think we'd be able to take that up to Mars and start developing the whatever we have to do, the atmosphere, whatever we have to do to make it livable. If we are capable of doing that here on Earth, why wouldn't we do that over there on Mars?
We're blaming on it, right? Katrina, and then the big tsunami in Japan.
Oh man, yeah, that was crazy.
They said that was the
Harp.
Conditions from the Harp. That was like when I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, but
I was like, why would we do that? Like, what is the benefit of doing that?
There's a lot of things, man. The government is kind of crazy.
Keep going.
Okay, the guy, over there when I was helping this guy the other day, and I was doing painting. I was painting this house, and he was laying some flooring, but he was like, he kept on like, he was talking all kinds of, I don't know what wrong with that. Yeah, conspiracy. That he believed anything you tell him, and no, dude, that shit is real. Look at the sky. Look at those clouds out there. You can't tell me those are natural. Look at those. They have lines going through them. Clouds are not shaped like that. I'm like, dude, okay, that's not natural. That the government is messing with that stuff, and I'm like,
hey, but
you can't trust your government.
But I like when a freaking good conspiracy is like, oh shit, that shit's really real. Like people
makes you think.
I mean, but he was saying like, and then the other thing was because we were like, hey,
was that what he's talking about?
I guess
the chemtrails, the chemical trails.
Exactly, that's what he was saying. Yeah. And then, but then he started talking about, because then we were gonna get him something to eat. Say, hey, because he came over from California, and he was staying at this house, and this house it's totally empty. We're helping this lady redo her house, and anyway, he was doing the floors for her, but he was gonna spend the night there by himself, and we're like, hey, you need something to eat? We're gonna go grab him something to eat. No, I already ate, but you can't trust that shit, man. Because we were like, what's around here? We told him. I think we mentioned one place first, like, no, I don't know, that has a lot of stuff in it, and hamburgers. We were just saying hamburgers. You don't know what's in that, man. I'm like, dude, we're just saying, do you want any food? And we're like, well, what else is on there? It's like,
tomatoes,
what's not to know?
Everything.
Well, then we were like, he's like, well, there's burritos in the fridge and stuff. I'm like, well, and so we're like,
you gotta microwave it. That's just as bad, right?
Exactly. Well, you know what? He was complaining about the microwaves too, though. Yeah. And he goes, it doesn't matter.
Am I warming up with a fork over the
flame? Fire?
I'll probably put it on the grill.
He's like, you can't. The microwaves, that stuff's coming all out of there. It's not stuck inside of that. How could it be stuck in there? But then, he was talking about. Then we somehow started talking about Taco Bell. It's like, oh no. He goes, you know what? He goes, there is human meat in that. He goes, there is human meat. God. He goes, I mean, seriously, think about it. How many people go missing a year? How many people, for real? Where do you think they're going? I mean, it has to be Taco Bell.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Sometimes it does taste like that, though.
Well, he said McDonald's too.
McDonald's, the hamburger patties, yeah.
He did say McDonald's too.
That's something that went out.
Patties, but I don't know about human meat, but something ain't right.
They said that all these missing people, and it has to be, a big corporation. Well, I stopped eating McDonald's a long time ago. That was disgusting, but it had nothing to do with that. But
I never liked McDonald's.
But
Same
hey,
here.
man, you never know. You can fucking
Wow.
find out you're eating
But
food.
just
Like,
everything we're telling you, it was Yolanda kept on saying, well, how about this? And everything. Well, there's human meat in that. Well, there's human. Whoa, this and that.
But didn't they
Like,
say-
Yolanda was like, just stop.
I gotta tell you, oh man, but, I mean, you're on the road. You gotta find out.
Yeah, you gotta-
They
said that
What
there
about
was,
Cracker
like-
Barrel? Oh no, that's a good place.
They said there was horse meat in the Taco Bell.
Oh, really?
I think they found horse
That's
meat.
some
in
good
Taco Bell
horse
or
meat
something.
there, boy.
Supposedly there's human meat in there now, too, so
Yeah.
that's where all the missing people go.
I'm not a really big
Every
fan, but
single
I could
one
eat
of
about 30 of those damn regular tacos.
They're
Man,
just
I
lining
can't-
up
Soft
outside in the
tacos?
back. You see
Yeah,
them
you know
like in
those
the line.
taco,
Yeah.
those taco
Waiting.
Sundays where shit. I used to love that, man. I'd
Oh,
load
no,
up.
no.
The soft tacos, man, I could eat like 20 of those.
Man,
No, but those hard shows, yeah, you're right. Like
I could eat about 40 of them bad boys.
You can eat 40 easy.
I guess so.
You buy the 10-pack and I'm like, okay, what are you getting, hon?
Taco
Yeah,
Bell
That's
is
for the
so
family.
expensive. Have you all
the
been
2
there?
boxes, right?
Everything's
I'm going up to the room
expensive
now. Watch karate
Taco
movies.
Bell, man, I could eat a meal there for like $5.
You know what? It used to be
It got
cheap.
so-
Taco Bell used to
yes,
be
it got
cheap,
expensive.
but it is expensive now.
I've never at a fast food place. I've never spent
Oh, yeah.
$40, like over
What the
$40.
Right?
It's like 30. I think the most expensive is like 34 or 30. You know?
I gotta look
Anyway.
at the menu. I thought it was way cheaper.
No, I went.
And he wants
Yeah,
they're called cheesy roll up. It's literally a tortilla rolled up with cheese.
Yeah.
Like you know
You
we can make
that
those
shit at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better,
They
way
get like
better.
8 of
You said
them.
it's not the same. I was like, okay.
It's literally the same exact. It's like, dude, that's what
It's just the tortilla's raw. I mean, here it's cooked. Right?
I know. That tastes that's
Anyway, that was funny. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. Now, one thing you mentioned too, Ian, early in the.
Here comes the grilling.
No, you said something about the poles flipping or something. Or
Yes, yes.
I'm like thinking, I mean, what would happen if you really could flip the poles? What would
Could be
that
a
do?
lot of different effects.
I'll
right?
put all
Like,
these
I mean,
bitches, man.
what would
Except
happen?
for
I
that.
wonder. Because and you're right. I know I did hear that it's natural. They do reverse, over time.
To hundreds of thousands or millions of years.
Yeah, but I mean, I wonder, what does the time go backwards or what? I mean, like, is it hot in the winter time and cold in the
Like cold in
summertime, or-
Jamaica.
that would
Like
throw everybody off,
stomach?
dude.
Or, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. But
Maybe I could do a segment on that. Just explaining what happens.
Oh, yeah. Reverse polarity. What does it cause?
Because
What is it good for?
What are the benefits?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my first thought was just, the North Pole goes south, the South Pole goes north. I mean, but the more you thought about it, he talks about it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I wonder what else.
Well, because it's.
Will we be upside down?
Santa Claus would be confused as shit.
Yeah, right. Like, wait a minute. Where'd my house go?
Yeah, I'll look into that. See
Yeah,
if I can make a segment out of it.
It's interesting stuff, yeah.
Mrs. Claus, her dress will be all upside down. All the elves will be thrown up. I can't come. They're calling into work and shit.
Drive on the ceilings too.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And you tell your wife to lay off them cookies.
Anyways, Harp, nothing crazy as far as I can tell right now. I don't see
Ian,
it.
did they close it?
They did not close it. I was going a little. I was talking a little fast, so I could understand if you missed it. The Alaskan college that was associated with it from the beginning, they assumed full control of it since then, and I don't know what a college would do with that kind of power.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure they're just using it for research.
Those
Give it to
college
some
parties.
18-year-old kids.
Trying to research mommy curses. But it's called Harp. It's got to do with not this one. That was awesome, Ian. Man, you always bring the heat, brother. Okay, anybody?
Nobody.
Anybody?
It's a good time for a pause.
Oh yeah. No Mr. Pringle Schlong stories or badass or we're good. Okay then. So we had a pretty cold winter this year, so I wonder if that had anything to do with Harp. Or the snow that hit, that big snowstorm that hit.
Oh, yeah.
They even had a name, didn't it, to it?
What, the snowstorm?
Yeah.
I'm sure it did. I don't remember what it was.
Was that bigger than the one that San Antonio had a long time ago?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it lasted for. I mean, shit, that it was cold. I mean, that I remember. They may have had a colder one before, but That shit was cold, man. It was. You couldn't even drive. The one with the last year's snowstorm.
Oh, last year's was crazy.
That's the worst you've ever had in San Antonio, right? Or like up there?
I kind of liked it though.
It was
Nice.
cool. It was fun. I mean,
Snowball
for
fights and
us.
stuff.
It wasn't the most snow, but it was.
So they had
crazy.
more snow, right? They had,
Yeah, I remember. Was it
85?
Yeah, 85. I think 85. Yeah, I think you're right.
They had one the same thing, but it only
I think
snowed
it was
like one
100.
day. It didn't snow like the way it snowed here. It kept snowing.
Well, that one was up to. I remember. I know for a fact it was up to my knees. It was deep. It was real deep snow.
but you were also a kid.
You know that's true.
Yeah. No, I mean we're shit.
I was a teenager.
I graduated that year, so yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was.
As deep as that snow, you got up in the mountains over there. And
No, that shit was some
brought out
snow,
of that
man.
snow, man. That-
Shit, that shit was snow right there, man. And nice snow, and that dirty ass snow. You try to make a snowball, and you shit. You throw it at
Mud.
somebody's change ass things, their clothes, man. That shit was pure snow, man.
Well, that was in Washington, right? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Up in
that's
the mountains.
Oh man, yeah. Mount Rainier.
No, it was
Blue Mountain.
yeah, Blue Mountains. That might be part of. I don't know, if it's part of that.
We went up to Mount Rainier. That's where
That's by
we
Seattle,
lost our
right?
keys. Yeah.
That's where they have the Olympus Park, right? Well, and then too, they had the. That all looked good too, man. I'd like to be out there and try
It's a
to.
beautiful country. And then all them Bigfoots are out there too. So.
All the Sasquatches.
Sasquatch.
So it's gonna be a bad summer then. That means there'll be a lot of heat, Jazz. You think you smell now, man? It'll be Sasquatch City, man.
Oh shit.
Oh, you gotta call me out. I get my smell from you. Hereditary.
I had to go change.
No, seriously, man. I hate those days, man. Especially yeah, coming. You gotta go work outside in the summers here, man. Seriously, you gotta be power washed, man. It's bad, man.
That's so gross.
My skin peeling off, but yeah, he's thorough. Anyway, what do we say, Dave?
Yeah, the what is it? A security guard chases a ghost. Y'all want to do that next story? That one there.
Let's
Right
do it.
there, the story over there.
I got candy. We all got candy in our mouth right now. But
Some leftover Halloween candy.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's still good. Okay, this next story comes to us from Anaya. Anaya writes, "Hello. This isn't my story, it's my grandfather's. About 40 years ago, my grandpa had an experience with a ghost lady at his work. My grandfather worked at a lumber yard. He was the only night security guard there. One night, my grandfather was in his truck making his rounds in the lumber yard. As he entered a certain section of the yard, he noticed a woman. The woman he was looking at was wearing a dress, and she was walking around in the lumber yard, which was strange. What was she doing here? How did she get in? He approached her in his vehicle. As he got closer, he got out of his truck and yelled at her, 'Stop and put up your hands.' She totally ignored him and kept walking. As she was walking, my grandfather noticed, as he looked down at her feet, that she had no feet. She was not walking. She was floating. This kind of freaked my grandfather out. He watched as she glided or floated towards a bush. She eventually made her way behind the bush. My grandfather followed her and said, 'Come out,' but no one ever came out. Knowing it was his job to check, he went behind the bush and he saw nothing. The lady was no longer there. This really scared my grandfather. He jumped back in his truck and called the police. It took a long time for my grandfather to calm down and recover from this incident. Also, one of the local news stations caught wind of what happened. They were calling my grandfather for days after to find out what happened, but the company he worked for did not want any kind of negative publicity and told him if he talked to them, he would be fired. Then, a few days later, another employee saw the same lady floating around in the lumberyard. Except this time, this employee took it a little harder. He actually started going crazy. About 2 years later, they found the remains of a woman buried under the grounds there. So crazy. We have so many stories to share, but this is the incident that scared him the most.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. It was like, I mean, to be running after a ghost thinking it's a person like chasing him after him with a gun. Come here, excuse me, put your hand up.
There's a lady walking in a lumber yard too, man. Especially, I could not give. They gave me the name of the place that lumber yard. And mind you, this is back 40 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I told you guys when I used to do construction back in the 80s also. And these people would supply the wood sometimes, and you know how we talk about the native burial, the native ancient burial ground.
Okay.
Well, I think some of this wood was grown there too, because those metal stud, the wood studs that you throw in between your walls. You ever seen the skeleton of a house?
Oh, yeah.
You seen it, right, Dad?
Yeah.
Imagine all those boards, the letter C.
Oh, they're worked, what?
They were notorious for this particular people. It's not all of them, and I'm not talking about all the lumber yards and
a bunch of junk.
yeah, the whole man, and then the people that we work for, they're like, oh, boy, what you doing? You know, it's like, look at this. You know, they're like, no, that's no, put it back in. It's like, dude, so you would, you know.
Was it on sale at least? You had to pay a cool price.
I'm sure they did. This is the 3 or 4 that they found in the bundle like that, and we're just like, damn, dude, you know. But yeah, you know. So we got a house in the '80s shaped like a C. That's what that was. But it's here in San Antonio. But and that's weird because I can only estimate that was like, I'm sorry, but that's what from the 40 years ago from now was what? Yeah.
80s.
80s.
Yeah.
80s, wow.
So in the 80s, I mean, and you know that if they're calling, if the news is calling to find out what happened, then yeah, that's because you know, which was kind of good back then, is that the news wasn't as horrible as it is now. But you know, they wanted to know about either
the truth, right?
Yeah. Like, even if it's a ghost story, but yeah, he's kind of telling the truth. Yeah. Like now, I don't know what we're hearing, but.
Man, yeah.
But that's kind of crazy though. That I mean, could you imagine that man driving all cool, man, and stuff like that? And I don't know. They didn't tell me if he was armed or not, an armed guard or not, or you just had that big ass flashlight that you had to threaten people with.
I think security guards see a lot of paranormal
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
especially night ones.
I imagine so, right?
That's why Five Nights at Freddy's is such a big thing. It's got nothing to do with it.
What is it called?
Oh, that is museum too.
Oh yeah, the nights of well, and then especially at a museum because yeah, they got all those artifacts there. But I can imagine, but like what they were saying here, right, was because there was actually a person that was buried on the grounds, and that's weird, right? Like crazy shit right there, man. That's some crazy shit.
Who was being buried on that?
A triceratops. So triceratops running through the.
Yeah.
Someone put his hands up and freeze.
I was gonna hit him with my flashlight, but it's just too big.
Well, that one guy went crazy, so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making fun, but that poor guy, man, that's so I wonder if that was when he was talking, because the other guy said he got, well, obviously I would be scared too to see a floating, lady in the, but they said she was in a dress too, didn't they? If I remember correctly, they said she was in a dress, so, maybe it was an old, seriously, maybe it was an old burial site that, somebody just didn't tell them that they moved it. Oh, no shit.
Ooh,
Why is she wearing the white dress and stuff, though? Did they say white dress?
I didn't hear
I hate
you.
that. Yeah, you're the one who told it, you asshole. I was like, yeah, I did. Sometimes people send us something written, so we have to kind of figure out what they're talking about, because it's not all put together. They'll leave out some information, so we just kind of, it's still the same story that we're told, but we just kind of spruce it up by putting ghosts and demons in there. No, I'm just kidding. No, we just kind of
In white dresses.
yeah, we just got to fit. But like in the original, I believe they did say she was in a white dress that was flowing on the bottom. And so when they're gliding that's still scary though.
What are they? Oh, never mind.
Maybe she was on a hoverboard.
But they didn't have them back there, Ian. They didn't. It was like having a cell phone. They're like, remember the old cell phones that they did have, like towards like the beginning of the '90s? They looked like MASH 4077, those big, walkie-talkies. Yeah, you'd have cancer by the end of the year if you used it too much, man, because that's big ass, radiation city.
They had microwaves inside of them. Those cells, whatever they're called. that generate that. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But
That
that was a
would
good story, though.
that would be kind of scary though, man, to find out though. Hey, you know, I did see that at that time, and I just wish I could have got more on the backstory because, and I looked it up here in San Antonio and around that area where they're talking about, and actually, man, they used to have a lot of burglaries and stuff way back in the day, especially in the 80s, man. They built that whole that company actually. It was named after the houses, and they would have these a certain section in that area, and man, they had break-ins, man. People, they had I don't want to give the name of it either, what the place is called, but yeah, it was a lot of like crime that was happening there. So I could imagine something like that may have happened, and somebody got buried back then. So that's terrible.
Yeah,
Just terrible.
That'd be crazy to see that, man. Jeez, you ain't kidding, man. See a lady floating from like. That'd be hauling in the other direction too.
Unless she had a pizza.
Yeah.
Where are you floating to? Anyway, thank you so much for that, Anaya. That was awesome.
We appreciate that. And if you'd like to submit a story, you can do so by visiting our website at www.rigormortisparanormal.com. And on there, you'll see a little button that says submit a story. Man, submit us your story that way. Or you can just email us at rigormortisparanormal@gmail.com. But however you decide to do it, please do send us your story. We'd love to have it, and we will air it. And again, you can listen to our podcast on all types of, I don't know,
Spotify, Apple, iTunes.
Even YouTube.
Where else?
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, not to brag, but it is everywhere. It's on all the major platforms.
KADA, FM 1760. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
And if you like us, don't forget to share us with your best friends, your neighbors, your kids.
Aunts, uncles. But yeah, please share us. So that's the one thing we'd love to get more. We have a lot of people that tell us, man, I love your show. I just heard it and I just started binging it. Please, keep on going and
keep binging.
But at the same time, please share this with other people too, because man, we'd love to have other people listen as well. That'd be great.
Definitely.
Anyway, man, thank you guys for listening. We really enjoyed being with you guys tonight, and we look to do it again really soon. Thank you very much, and
see you in 3 months.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
What do ghosts like to eat?
What do they like to eat, bud?
Ice cream.